Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Cybersec Migrant. And today I have an exceptional guest. He's one of the leading voices in the cybersecurity space. In fact, I think just today, he was listed as the seventh most influential cybersecurity creator in all of Canada by a well-known, he's been very modest about it, but he's also a cybersecurity evangelist. He's a fellow podcast host. He hosts two podcasts, and he's also an advocate for driving change in the industry. Years of experience working with managed service security providers and also advising boards on key strategies, sort of M&As, mergers and acquisitions. He's what I call a true authority in the field. And that's not all. He recently added author to his impressive resume. He recently released a new book titled Architecting Success, the Art of Soft Skills in Technical Sales, and it dives into the intersection of tech and the critical soft skills that drive successful sales. And of course, this is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. This is October. It's in full swing. And who better to help us dive into the key trends and best practices of how we can do our part to stay secure. So welcome again, Evgeniy, to the
Thank
Cybersec
you.
Mega
Thank you.
podcast.
Thank you for inviting me today. And I think it's a very good idea to talk about security awareness and soft skills because we understand that security awareness is very important. What I believe we don't understand is that taking a brush and painting everything in the same paint or have the same approach to everyone is not a very good idea. So if you want to have security awareness, if you want to get to people, if you want to get under their skin, if you can say this, we need to find the approach that will work. We need to find the approach that will take to people. This could be analogy of the home. This could be what they do with their kids. This could be what they do with their friends. This could be how they going and doing shopping or going to vacation. Whatever it works to do the analogies that will resonate with people, we need to explain, not to scare them, to explain and to understand, make them understand what's happening. So happy to tackle this part, happy to talk about soft skills, and just happy to be on the show.
Okay, great. Now, before we go into the book, there's one question I wanted to ask you, which is this is going to tie into your podcast. Now, like I said, Evgeny has been here before. If you want to see the episode where he actually talked about his experience, it's down in the description below, or you can click the card up here. You're going to take you to that link. You can watch that video. But like I said in the introduction, he's a host for two podcasts. One of them is called Cyber Inspiration, and the other one is Security Architecture. So two podcasts available on all podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere. You can find that, follow it as well. Now, like I said, on your LinkedIn title, for those who know you on LinkedIn, there's a bunch of author, architect, evangelist, consultant, and I know you do a lot of that evangelization about cybersecurity. And this is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So how is that coming along? Tell us a bit about that evangelism part of it.
So evangelism is very, very interesting. I literally just came back from a lunch and we talked about what's the difference between evangelist, field CTO, or sales engineer, for example. And the way I see it, the moment you decide or you become an evangelist, you now need not just to talk about technical difficulties, not just to understand the architecture and the problems, the solution or solution you're solving. You also need to really align this to business needs. So you're not just talking about how great is this firewall, cloud security, endpoint security. You really want to align this and understand how it's going to help the business to be more secure on a greater level, how it's going to help this business to be generating more money, potentially save money. So it's a combination between business and technology role in my mind. And at the same time, honestly, it's a bit of a marketing as well. You become a technical marketing, you're promoting whatever you need to promote. If this is solution, if this is the idea, if this is the framework, for example, like zero trust, you need to understand how to do this and how to connect to people. So it's a combination of a couple of things.
Yes, a combination of things. And I think that's, well, let me not jump ahead of myself because you talked about technical skills. They talk about so many things that come together. And like you said your new book, Architecting Success, technical selling and soft skills. What inspired you to write, that book? Why do you think it's so important for soft skills in a technical sales environment? And how do they contribute to success in, especially in this industry because it's challenging. People think security is an afterthought. It's an additional expense they would rather not do without if they could. So why do you think it's so important and why does it get overlooked sometimes?
There's actually a couple of things, and I want to show the title of the book again. You may see on the book, the cover, there's a blocks, and I call them building blocks. And if you
Yeah.
ever hear me present, I'll talk a lot about building blocks. I used to have this expression that I part of my work I'm doing 3D Tetris. I need to find things and put them together. And why I'm saying this? Because the book consists of several chapters, and every chapter by itself is something else. But when we combine everything together, it's become a better story. You become a better human being. Why I'm saying this? Because the inspiration to write the book was also building blocks of many different things. One, I'm a second time immigrant. I'm not speaking perfect English. I used to speak very fast. I used to mumble. I used to have a lot of filler words that I learned how to replace them with pauses. And I did a lot of work for myself. And I did this because I realized that if I'm a very smart human being, and I think and I hope I am a very smart human being, but I cannot output what's in my brain in a simple, common, or business language to the other person, that it doesn't matter. If I put a developer and an accounting in one room, and I only tell them to use the acronyms you use with your friends, they will not able to communicate. They all use acronyms and language they don't understand. But if they simplify the stuff, they will be able to understand each other. So by doing consulting for last 18, 20 years, I realized how important it is to be able to adapt to the language and use the metaphors to other people. This is one part about soft skills. The motivation also and inspiration came from me working in Horjovi group and listening to hundreds of vendors pitching, and I didn't really like the idea that many of them say, "Oh, I'm a salesperson. Let me look on this presentation I did." And the engineer will say, "Check my demo. It's so amazing. You'll see the UI, you're going to be blown away." And in my mind, it's like, why not ask the customer? The customer is very educated. Maybe they want to see something else. And I had my own way to consume information. You have your own way to consume information. Why we not adapt the learning style of the customers that are very educated customers and do that? So this was not building block number two. Building block number three, I saw the evolution of a sales engineer, how much they change and they become much more important to the sales cycle of the solution, not just doing the demo because it become more complex. In the same time, the salesperson, not the title, work changed as well because they now need to understand legal, procurement, and all the stuff that need to be happening as well. So this was building block number three. And I guess the last building block was the move to remote work.
Yeah.
We lost many important things when we used to sell face to face. When I be in the same room with you, I'll see the room much better. Even so, I'm using my hands right now. You cannot see my hands because you only can see part of me in the camera.
Yeah.
People will be focused and talking to you. I have four screens around me. How do you know if I'm talking to you? I'm looking through a different screen, or I'm mumbling to somebody else, something else. Do I write notes, or I'm eating spaghetti on the side? And so many different things that we lost as part of communication. People are very, very distracted, very, very unfocused, including me. So when you connect with someone on a remote session, you have seconds, less than a minute to find
Mhm.
something in common, to be able to connect with them, that they will care about what you're trying to sell them. Now, people that listen to us right now say, "Ooh, this is selling podcast. We don't care about that." But stop, reflect. We all sell all the time. Which
Exactly.
movie we're going to look tonight? Which meal we're going to have? Where we're going to go for vacation? Can I sell my new idea to my manager about we want to do a new project? Can I sell an idea to my manager to get me more money? I want to go to vacation. We are constantly selling whatever it is we're selling. So there's many ideas in a book that will be adaptable and will help everyone as well. How do we ask questions? Do we use open style questions, closed style questions, and many, many other things that we'll probably touch base a bit later.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely true. I like how you said we're always selling every time. And I think a few years ago, someone sort of pitched that same concept to me as well, because it was like, all the time you're making these decisions, all the time you're actually giving your opinion sometimes. So you think you might say, oh, I'm very bad at sales, or I don't do this very well, but we do them every day in our lives, you know. So sometimes I think the advantage we have, or the things we need to do, is to bring that into what we do for work and let that improve what we do. Hey, Cybersec Migrant listeners. If you're enjoying the show, help us spread the word. Share the Cybersec Migrant podcast with your friends, your colleagues, and your network. It's the best way to help others discover our awesome content and to join the conversation. And don't forget to follow us on your favorite podcast platform. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and any other place where you get your podcast, so you never miss an episode. And do hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. Your support helps us keep bringing you more valuable content, insights, and stories, and all these tips from the world of cybersecurity. And thank you for tuning in. And now, let's get back to today's episode. I'm still speaking on soft skills and these technical conversations, and I know you've had a lot of them in your experience. Do you want to share a few practical examples of how we can actually integrate, those soft skills into those conversations, possibly?
100%. So I just mentioned questions. So this is very, very interesting. I can ask you, what's your favorite color?
Yeah.
Or I can ask you, do you like blue and black color, for example? So what's your favorite color? I don't know. What is your favorite color?
I
Let's
say
try.
blue. Blue.
Okay. Or I can ask, Femi, do you like blue or black? You say blue.
I'll say blue. Yeah.
Now let's try something else. Can you describe your favorite color and why?
Oh, then that's very interesting. So, like I say, I love blue because it's very common in the air. It's the color of the sky. It's a very bright color. All of that, and then I have a conversation.
So instantly, from a once almost syllable, you told me two, three sentences. So
Yeah.
this could be when you're doing consulting. This could be when you're talking in a team, when you're transferring more information. You want the other person to open up because you don't know what's going to tell you. And when they're telling you stuff, now you can say, oh, you like blue because of the sky. If you like sky, you maybe like outdoor. Okay, why do you like blue? Is there so I know you're an immigrant as well. Is the color of the sky different than from your homeland? So there's
Yeah.
ways to open up the conversation. And people are like, yeah, but it's not really, it's like fake. It's like, what do you mean it's fake? It's not fake. I'm not faking. And if we go a bit earlier, and maybe even right now, when you want to date someone, a girl or a boy, it doesn't matter. Don't you try to make them talk? Don't you try to find information about them because you want to have
Mm-hmm.
a good
Mm-hmm.
conversation, a good experience, which movies they like, which foods they like to go. Do they like to go outdoors? Do they like to go somewhere else, play bowling and snooker? So we're doing a discovery, or we're trying to discover. We're asking our friends, hey, this person, what does he know? What is he like? It's not different than doing discovery about the person you're trying to talk. You maybe want to sell them something. Maybe you want to convince them something. Can you go on LinkedIn? Can you go on Facebook? Understand what they do without being a creep, please? Don't go try to understand
No
exactly
creeping.
what they did last summer. So this is a part as well. Another thing that's quite important over Zooms, Googles, and Teams is this idea of eye contact.
Yeah. Yeah.
I use a teleprompter. I have a feeling you're using a laptop right now, but you're looking right into me. If you have several screens, as I saw before, where is your camera? Is it on the bottom?
My
Is it
camera is
on the
just right. It's
side?
just right in front of me. Well, the main camera is right in front of me. I've got a second one
So
somewhere
you
here.
So you need to train yourself to look
Yeah.
into the camera and not look into my eyes, because if you look into my eyes, your eyes will be shifted. I have a teleprompter. This is why I can see you. I can see you right away. This teleprompter screen is mirrored to my screen on the left. So now I can still see you, but you see half of
But
my
you see inside
face.
of my head. Yeah.
Yes, there is several things that people can adapt to the environment, almost like a gap assessment. We talk about a gap assessment to understand, what do I do? Do I have good lighting? Is the lighting change? What I learned, for example, lately, the season changed a bit. So now after 3 p.m. local time, I have gonna sun burning to my eyes. So I need to adjust that the sun will not gonna go
Lighting.
to my eyes when I record, and I'm gonna have a sun patch on my face. So there's multiple things we can adapt that we're going to have a much better conversation. I definitely am a big believer of being on video. Not everyone. My view, you should be on video. And if you cannot be on video, then you explain why. Hey guys, sorry, I'm not feeling well today. I'm working in the environment where the bad background because I'm traveling, but you explaining what you're doing. So you kind of, I'm writing notes on the side. That's why you see me going out of frame from time to time. So
Yeah.
you guiding the other person on what's happening. In the same time, you can ask for guidance as well. I don't really understand. Can you elaborate? I'm new to this project. I'm new to that. I need more explanation. Now, there's always a level to this. Not everything you want to be guided all the time. If somebody explains to you something once or twice, you better remember, write the notes. But there is a lot of soft skills that are related to vulnerability to open up, ask for guidance.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And you so true, so correct. There's so many things that we can actually leverage and build on these things, to improve, technical sales. And even if you're not in technical sales, they can actually help you to be better at what you do. Now, this is October. Traditionally, it is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and we can't do this without talking about Cybersecurity Awareness Month, right? What
Yes.
would you say if as the evangelist that you are, if someone said to you, Evgeny, what can I do, to start to improve my cybersecurity posture, my security posture, either as an individual or as an enterprise, essential cybersecurity practice, what would you few things you would suggest?
I'm gonna say something that maybe gonna be a bit different than usually people say. Okay,
Okay.
let's try. If you want to improve your own cybersecurity hygiene in general, the best things you can do is to go and teach cybersecurity hygiene to somebody else. It will
I
require
agree.
you to research and understand and see what you're missing because you want to do a good job of teaching. This could be colleagues, this could be friends, this could be family. But this is probably will be much better versus me telling don't share passwords, use MFA, lock your laptop, and all this stuff we tell all the time. You maybe find new things that you're not aware about them. Literally a couple of days ago, NIST released new guidance for
Guidelines.
passwords. Honestly, besides, no, we don't need to change them every 30 days. I don't know what they are. I didn't read yet the entire guidance on NIST, but there is definitely changes on this part. So having an idea to teach somebody else about this could be very, very, very cool. If you do want to hear some practical and tactical advices, besides having MFA everywhere, you can multi-factor authentication that I think is very, very important. It's
Mhm.
also the idea not to reuse passwords, especially between work and home, and segregate as much as possible. If you can segregate work and home, this is going to be even better. Not always practical. Sometimes you have BYD, but there are some small things. And because I have kids, I think it's fundamental to not just tell everybody else, but also preach what you do. So tell the kids, explain them what you're doing, what you're doing. Kids now have chat games everywhere. They're talking to everyone. They're friending people left and right. Explain to them what you doing, what you're doing, and what you expect them to do. And maybe even
Yeah.
play some games, but then ask and need to teach their friends about it as well.
Yeah, that's so true. I totally understand that. I spend the weekend as well playing some games with kids, and kids have a very different way they think about things. They think at that point, especially well, maybe because of hormones, especially when they're teenagers or that stage in life where there's so much happening around them. It's very challenging, and I think, like you said, teaching someone helps you learn a lot about how to do these things. So that's very important. I want to change tack a bit. I talk about a couple of things. Now I know you're involved in two conferences in planning them. There's ski and snowboard, and there's bike and hikes. So what's the next big project? Are you going to talk about ski and snowboard? Because I know that is coming up. I know that's a
So
winter
bikes and
conference.
hikes happen August 15.
Yeah.
Ski and snowboard number three happening in February 27, 2025.
Mm-hmm.
I not involved right now to doing any other conferences. There is an
Okay.
idea to do a virtual conference about soft skills for like half
That
a
would be
day.
nice. That would be nice.
And it's actually interesting because I interview quite a lot of people. So I want to invite some people to talk about soft skills and what's important for consulting, for DevOps, for engineering, but also a topic that I didn't touch base before. And I recently learned that I'm missing and I need to touch base on this more. is how do you teach soft skills people that have some kind of, I don't want to say disabilities is wrong, but people that maybe thinking differently. So, for example,
Okay.
people with autism.
Mm.
And I have a dear friend that told me about this and kind of opened my eyes. We recorded episode with him that not published yet about what does soft skills mean for people with autism. Very, very interesting, very, very different than what I understand. So I definitely want to bring this attention because in some cases we are communicating with people and we don't understand why they don't understand us or why we don't understand them. And I'm now understanding that we're just missing how we communicate and we're missing what's important for them. And it's also important part of soft skills in general. We all learn and communicate and consume information differently.
Yeah, that is so true. I like the point you make about us. Sometimes in our industry we tend to forget that not everybody is like us. So we don't understand that there are people who are differently abled, like I like to say. And the last episode, I actually had a conversation with Artigadia. We spoke about mental health. You can actually click up here to watch that video. That was a very insightful conversation about mental health. It's not something we talk about a lot in our industry, so that was very interesting. So I'd like to get your thoughts on that, if you're watching. But then you talked about your book, and I think that's also very important. That's one of the reasons why you're here. So if the audience wanted to get their hands on your book, physical copies, digital copies, where can they find them?
The book is selling in Amazon,
Okay.
Amazon.ca, Amazon.com. There's also a Kindle version, same place as well. If you also go to softskillstech.ca or softskills.tech.com, this is the website that has everything around the book, links to the
Okay.
book, blogs about the book, SSDP, software skills development plan that is in the end of the book, 30, 60, 90, 120 days, how to improve the soft skills. I am right now working on a video training as well and potentially on a workbook as well. So it is a bit of interesting project. I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to do it that will able to help everyone and what's the format to be. So this is definitely interesting part. Also, by the way, if you in Toronto during Sector Black Hat, October 22nd, I'm going to be doing a book signing event at 6 p.m. So talk to me, reach me out on LinkedIn. I'll send you the link for registration. So this is where you can find the book, and there's many podcasts like yours where I'm trying to be and talk about the book and talk about soft skills and why I think soft skills is very fundamental and important.
That's so good. Thank you for that. So if you're at Sector Black Hat in Toronto, you could find Evgeniy there. You can get him to sign your personal copy of the book. I'm going to put a link to all the links where you can get the book in the description below. So Amazon or software skills.tech.dev, you can actually get it from there as well. All the links in the description below. So final one, where do you see the future of cybersecurity shaping up to, especially with MSSPs playing a larger role in securing many companies? Many companies now use an MSSP of some sort. So, what do you see the future of cybersecurity as? And then also for someone who's looking to transition into technical sales, with a cybersecurity background, any advice in that regard? Just sort of to wrap it up.
Let's start with technical sales. Understand why you want to transition. There's many books on on the focus, not just mine. There's many, many great books. If you don't know, reach out to me. I'll send you to some books. I'm talking about soft skills. I'm not describing everything about technical sales. There's again many other places as well. This is one. Two, if you want to do technical sales, you probably want to start from a domain you understand. So if you're in the risk and compliance, don't say I want to go and sell endpoint security or network security. Probably stay in your domain because it's going to be more comfortable for you to do. And later on, you can move and do something else. Understand that technical sales involve quite a lot, not just presentation, not just show how smart you are, but also understand if this is a real deal. It's not a real deal. How do you run multiple things? It's not,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to see
Mm-hmm.
my product that automatically going to buy. There's a lot of things involved. It's not easy. It's definitely very interesting. And I'm not trying to discourage you, but I want to tell you to understand what's happening. There's also many podcasts on the session, on the topic as well, but reach out to me. I'm happy to help. About cybersecurity, your first question. Trend I see right now, and what I'm thinking as well, is that we're going to have more and more vendors providing some kind of managed solution as well. It
Okay.
doesn't mean that the MSSP is going to go away, but I think the MSSPs will package the stuff differently. They will help you to aggregate all the information because the new vendors cannot really find a very qualified people very, very fast. Like it was no Checkpoint, Cisco, Fortinet, Palo Alto, because McAfee Semantic still exists. Because there's many vendors that only been around for a couple of years. It means they have to do the work themselves. And it's mean making they maybe need to do the managed services themselves as well. So we're definitely going to see transition from this perspective, but we're also going to see much more integration between vendors as well.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. Integration is the way to go. I think collaboration is the future of the industry. So that's good. But anyway, it's been very nice talking to you again. Thank you so much for coming on again. I'm also going to, like I said, put all those links in the description below. If you want to get in touch with Evgeny, I know he has an open door policy, so don't stalk him on LinkedIn or reach out on LinkedIn. He's always happy to help. But on behalf of all the audience today, thank you so much for coming on. And until next
Thank you.
time, this has been Femi on the Cybersec Migrant podcast.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.